Hi, I'm Tiffany, and I'll be doing my English 231 oral report on Emily Dickinson. So, Emily Dickinson was a 19th century poet. She was born in December of 1830, and she lived her whole life in the state of Massachusetts. Reoccurring themes of her poetry are usually nature, death, and immorality. Nature being such as not just like trees and outdoors, but also the nature of how things work or why they are the way they are. She has over 3,000 poems and drafts and fragments of all sorts that still are being worked on to be published this day because she had so much that she didn't anticipate to have published at the time of her writing, but now they're discovered, so they're still working on putting out these works. Her poetry wasn't discovered until after her death, and it was discovered by her sister, whom entered her room and found all these books of writing and letters and notes. In the same room is also where she wrote, and it said that she actually wouldn't leave the room during her writing, and if somebody needed to speak to her, she wouldn't even get up then. She would talk to the person through the door. She wouldn't even attend her own father's funeral, which was happening in the downstairs room of her own house. One cool thing about her poetry is that since she didn't intend for a lot of people to read it, none of them had names. So her poetry is referred to by the first line, of the poem, or by the number in which she wrote it. In her poem, she usually writes with paradox. About all of her poems include paradoxes, and she writes with this unique, unusual sense of style. She uses a lot of fragments and dashes, iambic, pentameters, and slant rhyme and stuff as unusual poetry. But with hers, it was a lot more unique. She had a different style and a sense of mind, which is also, some people think it might be the way that her mind thought when she was writing. It's said that some people, when they're writing, they're more creativity, so they're writing faster and everything gets jumbled up or messy. But with this, it's kind of like writing a recipe, it looks like, when looking at her regular manuscripts and everything, and with dashes and wrong punctuation everywhere. It's very illiterate. In most of her poetry, she also includes the color white, which she signified for passion and intensity. There's one set of poems and manuscripts called the Envelope Letters. They're a collection of poems by her, and they're just in a strange sequence. And in one of those, they're included Before I Got My Eye Put Out. And I'm actually going to read it. Before I got my eye put out, I liked as well to see as other creatures that have eyes and know no other way. But were it told to me today that I might have the sky for mine, I tell you that my heart would split for size of me. The meadow's mine, the mountain's mine, all forests, stintless stars, as much of noon as I could take between my thinnest eyes. The motions of dipping birds, the lightning's jointed road, for mine to look as when I liked, the news would strike me dead. So safer, guess, with just my soul upon the window pane, where other creatures put their eyes, and cautious of the sun. In this poem, I believe what she was trying to get across is that we don't always take our sense of sight, as in literally and figuratively, we don't always take it as seriously as we can or for granted. She's talking about in this poem how the eyes are the window to the soul. People don't appreciate how wonderful beauty is and what we use that for. It's like the beauty of nature, the beauty of others, and just she thinks it's doing people harm. And she mentions in one night, it just might strike me dead. it's hurting her so much that those people are taking their beauty for granted. All right. If you have any questions, you can leave comments. Thanks.